Hey everybody, what is going on? My name is Tom and I make gaming content here on YouTube. I have done that for a long time, and looking back at some of my original Until Dawn live streams, you can actually see how long I've been making content on YouTube, because some of these were from 2017 and that wasn't even the earliest I started uploading. But just looking at some of these are the live streams of all the episodes of me playing Until Dawn, from literally episode 1 all the way through to episode 11 when I completed the game. And this was the worst playthrough of Until Dawn ever. If you actually spend the time to go through and watch all of these, I think I kill like 90% of the characters off, and I get the worst game end of all time. I then, in 2024, when it got remastered for the PlayStation 5, I spent 6 hours, nearly 7 hours, trying to live stream the entire game in its entirety and get the perfect run. And I did. I didn't kill any of the original characters, I didn't lose any of the characters, I kept them all alive, and I got the best ending for the game and the post-credit scene as well. So I've made a lot of hours of content for Until Dawn, and I think we even have like an Until Dawn YouTube short that did pretty well. Like, if I show it, I think it was the Rami Malek sort of post-credit scene. Until Dawn. Here it is. So it's the only shot I've had that is based on Until Dawn. But it's the post-credit scene featuring Rami Malek's character. And it was a really cool game that was really interesting and really unique. And then obviously when people talked about there being a movie for Until Dawn, I was very excited, because a game that I've loved has been turned into a movie. But then we got the trailer, and I saw what we were looking at, and that quote at the beginning, we want to give audiences a new story and not the same experience they got when they first played the game. That is literally the opposite of what everyone wanted. Until Dawn, by the way, is already a very niche game. It's not very popular. It's definitely got its own little culture, but it definitely isn't mainstream. It's not like massive like The Last of Us that HBO picked up and turned into a TV show, or like Halo, which I think Paramount Plus turned into a TV show. Until Dawn is very, very much more niche than both The Last of Us and Halo. Um, it's very niche. I'd say it's even nicher than like The Witcher, which has now got animated things and Netflix shows and stuff with Henry in it, and now with a new character in it. But Until Dawn definitely is very niche. It has a very small fan base. Who would have loved to just seen a shot-for-shot remake of their video game? And these guys talk and explain a little bit more. They talk and explain a little bit more about like the tone and the vibe being similar, but the second, right, like this guy being back in it is really cool, because obviously he plays like a sort of psychotherapist throughout the entire of the first game. It's quite uh, abstract who he is in the game. Uh, Everyone knows him as the Replacer from Call of Duty, but he plays a great role in the Until Dawn video game. But these characters and all of this and this setup in the house and it flicking between different horror genres and things like every time they die it starts over but in a different genre. It sounds like a cool horror film. It sounds like a very interesting horror film. But it sounds like a very interesting horror film that they've just slapped the Until Dawn title onto. Because their whole premise is like, yeah, like when I saw that, and like most of us saw that shot right there, everyone was like, oh my god, they're making the video game into the movie. That's going to be cool. They're not. It's a completely different cast of characters. It's a completely different storyline. It's got one character from the video game making a cameo in it. Same night, different nightmare. Very weird premise. And like they have to survive until dawn. Like it was very odd. It's very odd. And I think I'm now less interested in seeing it in the cinema. I was very excited to see it in the cinema because I thought we were going to get a shot-for-shot remake of the original. Like, if you type in Until Dawn um, video game cast and you see the people on IMBD, you see the people who play the people. You know, Rami Malek is Josh, and You've got quite a lot of very decent voice actors here. You got a great team of people, a really good team of people, and this guy who looks nothing like that anymore, but it's kind of weird. But yeah, there he is. He is there. He's been in like John Wick, and he's been in of Call of Duty and things like that. But yeah, very strange. Very strange that they had a very fleshed out cast of characters who were all pretty awesome, and we could have just got these guys back and made the game shot for shot. Like these guys could have easily done that. Like the talented actors and actresses, they could definitely have just come back and just redid the game shot for shot. Like The Last of Us was so successful because they did the game shot for shot, and then with the whole Bill and Frank episode, they injected something new and different, but it still sat very well in that universe, and it still followed along the narrative that we all understood and enjoyed. And season 2 for The Last of Us is coming out very, very soon, and we're all very excited for it. But it looks like it's going to take inspiration from season 2 again, but just on a little twist and a little turn. We're going to have to wait and see how it translates the game. Obviously, it's a much bigger game, so I think it's not going to be like season 2. It's going to be like season 1. I think it's going to be a bigger jump. A lot more seasons will make up the second game, because the second game is massive in scope versus a very simple first game. So they've got a lot more work to do. So they definitely could make a lot more seasons and wait for Bella to age up to the right age for Ellie, and the actress who they've got for Abby to age up to be the right age for Abby and Ellie's confrontation when they're a bit older. And Pedro to age up a little bit more to play an older version of Joel. But they had a very good concept and they ran with it. And I don't understand why the Until Dawn people, whoever was left to be in charge of the Until Dawn production, I don't know why they decided to go off topic or to kind of go off what worked. It's always very odd to me as someone who, when you capture lightning in a bottle, you want to not reinvent the wheel. You want to just kind of use the source material and run with it. Why the hell would you change what's good? Like it's creepy. It's in the snow. You've got a vibe already. The second you load in, it's got a banger of an intro scene. It's about these characters. You go to this cabin in the woods, and they bully this girl, and they prank her, and it ends up causing her and her sister's death. And their brother Josh, it invites them all back all these years later, and then it just gets so dark and unhinged, and there's twists and turns, and you could have easily made it like it generic wise. It's a generic horror thing. It's like a generic horror thing, and the big game mechanic that is really cool in this is that butterfly effect of like a character makes a choice, and you get to see where that leads, and depending on how the person plays the game, choices can end up with very different outcomes. And I think their argument in talking about the trailer, I think their argument was, oh well, we wanted it so we could do our own thing. Like every time they die, we see a different genre, and it's like you didn't need to do that. You could have, and movies have done this where they've shot alternative scenes and added them as like DVD extras or bonus clips. You could have very easily just shot a scene where a character walks in, and in your narrative of how the movie plays out, she survives that scenario. So you show the footage of her surviving the scenario. But then you could have just rewound live in real time and shown a bit where she like touches an item and that leads her to her death. And then it shows the butterfly effect like it does in the video game. And then it rewinds, and then you're back to the moment where she doesn't touch that object, and therefore she survives, and therefore the story progresses. But you could have shown all of their like death scenarios. The game shows them. Like you could have shown the paths that they took incorrectly that caused them deaths, and then reverted, and then continued the narrative however you wanted to continue it. And I think if they'd have done a shot-for-shot remake of the game, they could have been creative with the butterfly effect. It just doesn't seem like the right team got attached to this project, because it's clear that the people over at HBO who took over the Last of Us project love the Last of Us. It's so clear from the detail of like Joel's watch, his shirt, Ellie's t-shirts, and her backpack, and her joke book, and the way that they did their hair, the way that they shot and lit a scene. There's moments that the internet blew up with the love for it, because the internet blew up with love because they were able to they were able to see a shot from the TV show and press pause and screenshot it, and open up the game and press pause and screenshot it, put them next to each other, and they were like near perfect. From like the books on a shelf or an ornament on a desk, it was like amazing. It was like a nerd dream come true, because it's like the video game that we love got the love that it deserved on the big screen, and that was really cool. It was really cool to watch and to see. And it's sad that Until Dawn fans, I know there's not many of them, and I know we're a small community, but many Until Dawn fans, I don't think are gonna wanna watch this, because it's not the Until Dawn we know, and it's a big swing and a miss. It could have definitely been more closer attached to the game. It could have definitely paid more respect to the game, and it definitely could have followed more suit of the game. It just, to me, is a big swing and a miss. I don't know why they did it. I don't know why they did what they did with it. It's very strange. Because they just, apart from the name and that one character from the game's cameo, that's it. That's all they've got connecting it to the original real Until Dawn game that the fans love. Like, the game already is a niche fandom, and the movie's going to have an even nicher fandom if anybody ends up liking this film. I think this film's going to bomb at the box office. I think it's going to flop massively, because the already small community of Until Dawn fans wanted to see Until Dawn the game as a movie, and you've just taken the name and one character and done your own thing. And I really think it will fail massively for that. I'm not saying if you did, like, a shot-for-shot remake would have still struggled because of how niche the community is, but you would have had a much better chance if people could pause the trailer and be like, oh my god, that's the bit from, where Chris is in this scene, and where Ashley does this, and where Sam does this, and then this happens, and then this happens, and it's like, they could have had more, like, nostalgia of, like, looking at the scene from the game and then looking at that same scene in the trailer. Very weird swing and a miss is the best way I can describe it, but I'm now not looking forward to it. The second they told me that an Until Dawn film was in the work, and they did the PS5 remaster, I was very excited. I was very excited to go and watch that on a big screen and see the Wendigo and follow the characters that we saw in the game be portrayed in live action. And when you have a stellar cast of people who could just come back and just do their characters again, but in human form, in not digital form, but in physical form, and when you've got the guys and team and who people who did the story for the game, who smashed it, could have just come back and done the same screenplay, turned the game into a screenplay. I don't understand why we do this. I don't understand why we take really well-known, popular IPs and then just swing and miss them. I really don't. I think people were saying the same thing in the Halo TV show. I didn't really watch it, but like people said, like Master Chief, the character who never takes his helmet off, took his helmet off, and we could just like see 90 minutes of just him just talking with his weird face, and it was like we've never seen Chief's face in Halo ever. It's lore, it's canon, it's there from day one that he never takes the helmet off, and he took the helmet off. It makes no sense, and the only TV show that has ever paid tribute to the game as good as the game is the Last of Us TV show by HBO, and I think they should be, and the Amazon TV show with Fallout, to be fair. Amazon with Fallout and HBO with The Last of Us are the only two game adaptations into live action culture that I've seen that really resonates with audiences, and people love them too, like love them. So the Borderlands film flopped, and they tried to stay true-ish to the game. I'm not a big fan of Borderlands, but I know a lot of Borderlands fans weren't very happy with it. The Minecraft movie looks like it's going to go the same suit. Yeah, the Mario movie did well because it was animated and it kind of fit the genre, and it kind of paid respect to where it came from. But yeah, it's just a bit disappointing because I was looking forward to this film, and I mean it's a couple of money saved in my pocket. It's one less film to go and watch, but I like supporting films in the cinema, especially when they look cool and they interest me. So it's a bit gutting that this is the way that it's been. It is what it is, but yeah. And let me know your comments and stuff down below. If you want to watch the real Until Dawn, you can. You can go and watch me play it. I've got the 6-hour version. You can obviously chop that up and watch it however you want. Or if you want to watch the really awful playthrough where everybody dies, you can watch the 2017 playthrough that I did where every single character died. and I got the worst ending ever. That's kind of what made me want to go back and replay it again on the PS5. Not only did we get nicer graphics and stuff, but I got my opportunity to fix all of my mistakes in my first playthrough, which was really cool. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. I'm a bit disappointed in this. I hope you guys can understand where I'm coming from. I mean, it's a body of work. People have worked on it. I'm going to give it its chance and see what it's like. Probably do a movie review of it at some point, but just disappointed that we didn't get what we could have got, because there was so much more potential there. But it is what it is. We'll have to wait and see. See you guys in the next one. Subscribe for more. Peace.